Heavy machinery operating erratically mere inches from a footpath. High voltage lines hanging over wet ground. In industrial construction, a single miscalculation results in an immediate loss of life. Safety officers serve as the proactive shield for the site. Their weapons are observation and persistence, allowing them to detect a frayed winch cable or an unstable trench wall before the first worker steps into the danger zone. To see how that actually works, we're shadowing a 20-year veteran as they take a rookie on a morning site lock. This mentor is going to show the new recruit, and us, what the job requires beyond the classroom. Safety officers provide the practical oversight that prevents high-level safety theory from failing on the ground. Their presence ensures that the technical safeguards designed in the office actually function during a high-pressure 12-hour shift. This diagram highlights 16 of the most recurring hazards on a modern construction site. An officer must monitor all of these simultaneously, from unguarded machinery and unstable excavations to open shafts and falling objects stories above the ground. When these specific threats are left unchecked, they lead to fatal injuries and a total collapse of site operations. This graphic from OSHA illustrates the hidden financial impact of a workplace incident. While the direct medical and insurance costs are high, the indirect costs, like time lost to work stoppages and damage to materials, are estimated to be 2.7 times higher. A single severe accident can drain enough capital to bankrupt a project. The officer's ability to identify and neutralize these hazards is the primary barrier protecting a company from total ruin. The defense begins well before the machinery starts up. It is 6:45 a.m., and the officer is leading the day's first critical checkpoint, the toolbox talk. The officer uses this time to translate abstract, high-level regulations into the day's specific reality. If the crew is pouring concrete near scaffolding, the talk focuses entirely on fall protection and secure harnesses required for that specific environment. Once the briefing is done, the officer shifts to the permit-to-work system, the absolute gatekeeper for high-risk operations. As this diagram shows, tasks like welding, entering confined spaces, or excavating require a formal permit. The worker is blocked from starting until the safety officer verifies that every precaution has been checked off. Without the officer's morning verification and signature, no high-risk work is legally or operationally allowed to begin. By midday, the officer leaves the office for a site patrol, shifting from verifying paperwork to actively scanning a chaotic environment for physical anomalies. This risk assessment matrix shows the calculation every officer must perform. Spotting a hazard is only the start. They have to determine the mathematical probability of that hazard causing an event and the potential severity of the outcome. Once the risk is assessed, they apply the hierarchy of controls. Relying on personal protective equipment is the least effective option. The goal is to move up the pyramid, isolating the danger, or ideally eliminating the hazard entirely. This is where many rookies stumble. They might wear their own safety gear perfectly, but they fail to enforce the rules for the rest of the crew, or ignore a near miss simply because nobody got hurt. Correcting these errors requires a difficult balance of soft skills. The officer must speak respectfully to workers and engineers while remaining absolutely firm on compliance. Observational skills are only useful when paired with the communication skills and authoritative presence needed to stop a dangerous task in its tracks. Despite strict morning prep and constant patrols, human error is inevitable. When the unexpected happens, the officer moves immediately into incident management. They must first categorize the event. An unsafe act is a dangerous behavior, a near miss is a close call that could have resulted in harm, and an accident is a full-blown failure involving injury or property damage. For every accident, the officer performs a root cause analysis. This diagram shows the process branching out from the initial incident to find the underlying systemic failures, ensuring the company fixes the procedure, not just the individual. As the shift ends, the officer oversees site closure. They verify that dangerous zones are barricaded, equipment is powered down, and storage areas are secured for the night. The final step is documentation. The officer compiles inspection reports, permit logs, and audit records to create a permanent history of the day's safety actions. In the eyes of regulators and the law, if a safety action isn't documented, it never happened. Veteran officers eventually move into a different phase of the job. They focus on the cultivation of trust, creating an environment where workers look out for one another and choose safe methods even when no one is watching. This career has a clear trajectory. It begins at the safety officer level, focused on day-to-day floor execution. With experience, you transition to safety manager, designing overarching systems and training. The highest tier is HSE director, an executive owning strategy, budget, and business integration. Climbing this ladder requires continuous learning and the pursuit of international certifications like NEBOSH or IOSH. If you're ready to start that journey, we can help. Like and subscribe to join our community. Comment below with the topics you want us to break down next, and check out the Safety Pathshala channel for in-depth tutorials and interview prep.